In this video, I'm going to show you how to plot an Ogive graph. And in this particular example, we have laid off employees and current employees. And I'm going to pull up the table. And basically, you are going to take this data and calculate your classes, the number of classes, your class width, and your frequencies like we have in earlier videos. So I'm not going to show those steps. In this video, I'm going to get to where we start finding out what we need for our Ogive graph. So let me pull up. I've already got my graph here, and what we need to do is, for an Ogive, basically what it is it graphs your upper limit for each of your classes, and it graphs your cumulative frequency percentage. So for this particular problem, I'm going to write my classes down. So my first class is 19 to 28, and you know how to use Excel and StatCrunch to get these, or you can even get these by hand. And then my second class is 29 to 38, and then 39 to 48. Okay, I've written my classes down, and with an Ogive, we do want to start at 0. So we're going to add a class, and we can make this class, let's make it 9 to, let's say, 18. So we can have a class that has 0 in it. Okay, so you would calculate your frequencies and your cumulative frequencies, and basically what we're going to do with these classes we're going to take the upper boundary, just that number. So we're going to do 18, 28, 38, 48, 58, 68, and 78. So these are the numbers that we're actually going to graph for the age. And then what we need to do is write our cumulative frequencies as a percentage. So for example, my first number was, my frequency was 1, and there's 40, which we always change that to a decimal, and I got 0.025. So, and do this like you would normally do it, but then times it by 100, or move the decimal place twice. So my first cumulative percentage would be 2.5. And then I believe my second one was 12.5. My third one was 45. Then 77. The first one will be 0 because we didn't have anything in that class. So 2.5, 12.5, 45, 77, 95, and 100. So these are basically our ordered pairs, and then we just need to graph these on our graph. And I'm going to make our graph a little bit bigger. So our first percentage that we want to graph is 18, 0. So our age is 18. And then that's going to be at a cumulative percentage of 0. So about right here. And this is going to be approximate. And then we would go to our next class, so 28, 2.5. So I'm going to go over almost to 30. Very close. And then I'm going to go to 2.5. Well, this is 5, so halfway would be about right here. And then we have 38, 12.5, so almost to 40, and then go up past 10, and then halfway between 10 and 15 would be about 12.5, and you could even round it to 13 if that will help you. And then the next one is 48, and we need to go to 45, so age 48, and then go up to 45, which would be right here. And then that moved that. 58, 77, 58, and then go up to approximately there's 70, here's 75, so 77 would be about right here. 68, 95, 68, and then go up to 95, and then 78 would be about in 100. And then we need to connect the dots. So when you're connecting your dots, just do the best that you can. Okay, and there is our laid off employees Ogive. And as you can see, I can even kind of curve it a little bit better. But what I would do is, you can also do both of you can also pull up your current employees and do the same thing that we just did with it. But I basically use process of elimination, because if you look at laid off here and you look at this line here, you can see that the third point is at less than 10, and our third point is above 10, because our cumulative frequency for our third point is at 12.5. And then our fourth point, 1, 2, 3, 4, is at 45. So let's look at our fourth point on this graph. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not quite at 45. But if you look at the correct one, 1, 2, 3, 4, our fourth point is clearly at 45. And then you can look at this graph, and then you can see that this fourth point is way above where it should be. So a good strategy here is just to use process of elimination. So let's go over what we did again. You will, when you're graphing an ogive, you will find your class, the number of classes, your class width, and you will get your frequencies and your cumulative frequency. And the ogive is basically a graph of your upper boundary in each of your classes and the cumulative frequency percentage. Those are the two things that you have to get to in order to graph an ogive. You can do this in Excel, but the only issue will be, especially with the homework, is your graph ranges probably aren't going to be the same as what you see on here. So this may be a situation where you can just take your numbers here, your 18 and your 0, and find it on the graph, your 28 and your 2.5, your 38 and your 12 point. Just use these numbers and look at which graph is showing the correct points. And hopefully that will help you be able to work the homework problems that involve the ogive. Please let me know if you have any questions.